You've probably heard the word mindfulness thrown around a lot, right? It's on magazine covers, it's in a ton of apps, maybe your boss has even mentioned it. But what if it's more than just sitting still and trying to be calm? What if it's actually a super practical tool for dealing with our crazy tech-filled lives? Well, today we're going to break down what mindfulness really is, all the way from a moment of crisis to the keyboard right in front of you. So let's start with a So, how do we connect the dots here? From a moment of intense crisis to being, say, more effective at work? Well, here's the roadmap for our journey. We'll kick things off by defining what mindfulness really is. Then we're going to geek out a bit and look at the science. After that, we'll see how you can sneak it into your busy life. And finally, we'll explore this really fascinating link between mindfulness, technology, and your career. All right, first things first. What are we actually talking about when we say mindfulness? It's a word that gets misunderstood all the time, but really, at its heart, it's about making a fundamental shift in how you relate to, well, everything. Your own mind, the world around you, all of it. This definition right here, this is key. See, it's not just about paying attention. It's about the quality of that attention. The real secret sauce is the attitude you bring to it, that sense of kindness to yourself, a little warmth, and just some genuine curiosity about what's happening right now, without judging it.
I know this might all sound a little abstract, a little woo-woo, right? But here's the thing. The effects of mindfulness are anything but. Scientists can now actually see how this practice physically changes our brains.
So here's a wild question for you. Do you think it's possible that just by changing how you pay attention, you can literally rewire the organ inside your skull? Well, the latest research from neuroscience is telling us a big, resounding yes. And the results from this research are truly mind-blowing. Studies are showing that a regular mindfulness practice can actually grow more gray matter in the parts of your brain that handle things like memory, learning, and managing your emotions. It's like taking your brain to the gym. It strengthens the connections and makes it healthier and more resilient. This isn't just about feeling better. It's about literally building a better brain. Okay, so the benefits are pretty clear. But I know what you're probably thinking. Who has time for this? And honestly, that's fair. But here's the good news. You don't need to add another thing to your to-do list. You can build mindfulness right into the stuff you're already doing. Let's just take your morning coffee. Instead of chugging it down while you're doom scrolling through emails, you can turn it into a 2-minute practice. Actually feel the warmth of the mug. Take a second to smell the coffee before you drink it. Notice the taste. And when your mind inevitably wanders off to your to-do list, because trust me, it will, the practice is just to gently guide it back. That's it. That's the whole workout. And you can do this with pretty much anything. When you're in the shower, instead of planning your entire day, just feel the warm water on your skin. When you're brushing your teeth, notice the taste of the toothpaste. As you walk to your car, feel your feet hit the pavement with each step. These are called informal practices, and they can be just as powerful as sitting down to meditate. They're just little ways of teaching our brains to pay attention. Okay, now we're going to make a really important pivot. We've seen how paying attention can ground us in a crisis and make a simple daily routine feel richer. But what happens when we apply that same quality of attention to the one area of our lives that often feels like the absolute opposite of mindful, our relationship with technology? This brings us to a really cool concept from some academic research called IT mindfulness. And no, it's not about meditating with your laptop. It's about a way of interacting with your digital tools with more awareness, more curiosity, and a real willingness to explore. It's the difference between being a passive user and an engaged, empowered one. So the researchers broke this down into 4 key ideas. First, there's alertness to distinction. That's basically just noticing, hey, this software could probably do way more for me than how I'm using it. Then there's awareness of multiple perspectives, which is realizing your way isn't the only way. Maybe your coworker has a better system. Third is openness to novelty. That willingness to just click on an unfamiliar button to see what happens. And finally, orientation in the present, which is all about adapting how you use your tech to what you need right now, choosing the right tool for the job. So, what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's check out a case study that really puts these ideas to the test in a pretty high-pressure global environment. So there's this project called XCulture, and it is intense. They take small teams of students from all over the globe, people who've never met, and they have them solve real business problems for actual companies. And they can only collaborate using technology. I mean, it's basically the perfect simulation of the modern global workplace, right? And wow, the difference IT mindfulness makes here is just night and day. A mindless team, they get stuck, they use their tools on autopilot, they get super frustrated by the limitations, they miss huge opportunities. But a mindful team, they're living those 4 dimensions we just talked about. They're open to new features, they adapt their tools to what the team needs, they see different ways to use the same platform, and they're quick to notice when a tool just isn't working. They're actively shaping their digital workspace, not just being passive consumers of it.
And that is the big takeaway here. This isn't just another call for a digital detox. The mindful approach isn't about unplugging. It's about plugging in with more intention, more awareness, and ultimately more effectiveness. It's about making our technology finally work for us instead of the other way around. So the next time you open a spreadsheet or jump on a video call or use one of your collaboration tools, just take a second and ask yourself this question. Are you just going through the motions, stuck on autopilot, or could you bring just a little more curiosity, a little more awareness, and maybe unlock a much better way of working? The choice is yours.